Talk
Okay,
Fighting
good
Tiger
evening once again.
football.
Welcome to the Ed Ogeron Show here on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Of course,
Across
the
the
Wednesday
state
Night Culture
and
Show
around the world.
we do
This
every Wednesday
is
night.
the Ed
So
Orgeron Show.
for the next half hour, you'll be hearing from Ed Ogeron talking
On
about
the
LSU
LSU
football.
Sports Radio Network, your weekly chance to talk with Coach. Live from TJ Ribs in Baton Rouge.
How you doing, Coach? I can't believe I'm talking to you.
Well, you are. Have a question for Coach? Dial us up at 225-578-4827 in Baton Rouge. Toll free from anywhere, 1-800-315-8255. Or tweet us live at LSU Radio. Now, standing by with Coach Ed Orgeron. Here is your host, the voice of your Fighting Tigers, Chris Blair.
Good evening, Tiger fans, and welcome once again into the show. I want to thank everybody for coming out here to TJ Ribs, and for those of you out there listening tonight, your Fighting Tigers return home this weekend. They'll take on the Florida Gators, and currently what I believe is the most heated cross-divisional series in the SEC. LSU looking to get off a two-game losing streak in conference play following last week's 42-21 loss to number 11 Kentucky. Up in Lexington, the Gators come in 4-2 on the year, 2-2 in SEC play. They've got losses in SEC action to Kentucky and Alabama. They had no problem with Vandy last week, 42-0. We've got an early kickoff coming up Saturday morning, just after 11 a.m. between Florida and LSU. Tonight, we'll look back at the Kentucky game and the work, of course, this week for the Tigers in practice. And before we're done, we'll get a scouting report on the Florida Gators. It is Wednesday night. We are at TJ Ribs, and for the next hour, we are talking LSU Fighting Tiger football. So don't go anywhere. Coach O going to join us next after this quick break on the LSU Sports Radio Network.
Okay, the Ed Ogeron Show will return in just a few moments, so we will go over some tweets. Let me go over some tweets for a little bit until we get back to the coaches shows. We'll switch it back in. So if you want to come in video chat, talk anything in the world of sports, that's fine with me. So that will be highly optional. Okay, let's go ahead and go over some Twitters. Okay, once again, Nunez playing Delgado. That's out at Kurt Rooney. The pitch is for 5 p.m. That was maybe 2 hours ago. See what else we have. Okay, once again, we talked about Sam Mills in the Sports Talk show. Okay, let's put this in. Okay, Bird writes, Pelicans are going to try to procrastinate the Zion news until the injury report prior to opening night. So that's what they're discussing about Zion Williamson. So that's from okay, John Petty Jr. agrees to a Exhibit 10 deal. So he is going to be playing with the New Orleans Pelicans for Exhibit 10. So that's from Hoop Rumors. Okay, if you had $10 to build your squad, what player you would prefer? That's what they're discussing on Pro Football Focus, Fantasy Football Twitter. Let's see what we have. Okay, this is from the New Orleans Pelicans. Coach Green said he expects Zion to be ready for the opener after missing preseason. So he had right knee soreness. So that's good news for the Pelicans right there. He'll be ready for the home opener, preseason for the opener. Okay, Cubs planning to hire Carter Hawkins as the general manager. So it looks like the Cubs organization are going with some changes and hired Carter Hawkins. So that's once again, that's Twitter. We'll go back to the LSU Ed Orgeron show.
I want to remind you, use the QR code right from your table for those of us here tonight. You can enter to win the Ultimate Coach O Show giveaway. One lucky winner will be chosen to win the Ultimate LSU Football Experience. That includes sideline passes, 2 seats to practice, signed LSU helmet and jersey, and a tailgate party pack. Enter today if you're not here at tjribs.com. Let's get it started, folks. Once again, Tiger fans, welcome to the show. Our head football coach, Ed Orgeron.
Thank you, Chris. Thank all our great fans on the show tonight and all great fans here at TJ Ribs.
Coach, coming off another tough game, obviously on the road at Kentucky, but it's another week coming up, another opportunity. This time you're back at home.
Mm-hmm.
What stood out to you last week? How have you tried to put that behind the team and build on some of the positives going into this matchup Saturday?
I was really pleased with our running game and our fans were. I thought Ty Davis-Price had his best game of the year. Our offensive line had the best game of the year. I thought that was the big positive coming out of the game.
We say it here all the time. Of course, injuries are part of the game, but the Tigers, unfortunately, suffering more than their fair share, and certainly recently in quick succession. Already without Andre Anthony and Derek Stingley, which we've talked about for several weeks. Then this week we find out sad news for Kayshon Boutte, Ali Gay, and then earlier today, Eli Ricks. Certainly they are big losses for the team, which we can talk about. But we got to remember, these are big losses for these young men.
Yes, and what a tremendous catch Kayshon Boutte made, and came down on his ankle, and it was a severe injury. But he caught the football, man. The guy wanted to go back in the game. What a tremendous competitor, a tremendous type, just like all these young men that you mentioned. They were big leaders for our team and big-time players.
Due to the nature of the game of football, we hear it all the time, next man up. That's the mentality that's ingrained into this sport. From a coaching standpoint, I was thinking earlier today, what are ways that you and the staff can help in a given week or over a couple of weeks, help build the confidence, build the reps, and prepare that next man to step in and succeed?
We started the season telling everybody we're going to need everybody. You just one play away. If you're the second or third team, you 1 or 2 plays away. And it's happened. And fortunately, we have a guy like Cornell Flott that has played nickel and he's played corner. We can move him to corner. We have a young freshman who I think is going to be a tremendous player, Sage Ryan. We can play him at nickel. So we have some depth at some spots. Unfortunately, we have that.
Something you said during Monday's press conference, Coach, I think resonated with me, probably a lot of people, and that is you told the team this week, hey, you're going to remember this, how you respond when the chips are down, which is obviously a very important message for this football team at this point. But maybe even more importantly, a better message about life. We all have those moments, and the response from us, whether you run and hide or stand up and fight, will say everything about what the eventual results will be. How have they responded this week in practice?
They've been fantastic, and I know fans are tired of hearing this, but we had some great practices, and these guys have stepped up. They had some Andre Anthony had a players-only meeting on Monday. He told them what he saw on TV and the things that he said that we need to get fixed. And, when it comes from the players, it means a lot. Our guys are motivated. It's the Florida Gators, a rivalry. I feel like we're going to play very good on a Saturday morning.
All right. Before we go to break, we go out to the LSU Sports mobile app where fans can submit questions each and every week. Steve in New Orleans, Coach, wrote in to ask, Coach, in what specific ways do you block out the noise? And how do you help the team block out things that aren't about football in the next game? Because we all know these guys are tuned into everything that's going on.
This is the first time I see anybody else all week besides my team and my dog at home. So I don't go anywhere. I don't listen to the radio. I don't turn on the TV. I just work. And, I know this stuff out there. That doesn't bother me. I'm concerned with these players fighting hard, these coaches being positive and doing the best I can for LSU.
How's the message go to the 18 to 22-year-old who, again, obviously has access to TikTok and Instagram and Twitter and everything that's out there? What do you tell them about how because it's important for them to block out the noise and concentrate at the task at hand?
It's maturity. I know they read it. I know they hear it. I know they deal with a lot of things outside the building. We try to make it as intense and as positive we can as practice, that you have to focus, that you have to concentrate. But it's going to seep in. It's going to affect them in a way. We try not to make that a big deal.
And again, we always talk about it. You and I sat here 2 years ago talking about it. Everybody said they were great. Nothing can go wrong. I mean, it works both ways. They've got to be able to block out the good and the bad.
Yeah, I learned it from Pete Carroll when I was at USC. I said, Coach, I was a recruiting coordinator, and I always used to read the message boards because of recruiting. I used to read the LA Times because of recruiting, the Orange County paper. I said, Coach, you ever read the paper? He goes, no. I said, why? He says, when you're doing well, they make you too good. And when you're not doing well good, they make you too bad. So don't read it. And, it doesn't affect the way that I coach the team. I won't let what's said out there, whether good or bad or different. I need to coach the team in the way I know to coach the team.
All right, fans, much more to come here tonight. Just getting started with Coach O. I want to remind you, People's Health, proud to be the official health plan of LSU Athletics. If you have Medicare, listen up. People's Health has plans tailored to suit where you live and how you live. Visit peopleshealth.com. Find a plan that's right for you. Much more to come, and we'll be back as we continue after this short break. It's the Ed Ogeron Show on the LSU Sports Radio Network.
Okay, once again, Ed Ogeron will return. So we'll go ahead and go over some Twitters. Okay, let's see what we have. Let's scroll down. Andre Anthony may be out for the year. Ed Ogeron said on this radio show. That's Wilson Alexander talking about Ed Ogeron show. Also, Ed Ogeron asks how he blocks out the noise, jokes the fans. And Wednesday evening over at so that's Jarrett Rosen talking about the same thing. Also, LeBron James turnover number 7 with 3:30 remaining in the second quarter. So that's in the preseason games tonight. That was 20 hours ago. Let's see. 1 minute ago, Russell Westbrook stat line from his debut with a new team. So this is his stat line. They're showing his stat line on the screens from D-Score. Okay, John Gruden will be removed from Madden 22, which is a good thing. I think it's absolutely good. They removed him from the that role. Also, let's see what we have. Okay, we got AFC notes, Chargers, Chiefs, and Raiders. Okay, we're going to scroll down, see what else we can talk about. Okay, Fish Blog. On this date, back in 2012, Ryan Griffin hit Robert Kelly with a go-ahead touchdown. That was against SMU. That went 1-5 that year. Orleans Darkwa had 18 yards. So let's see what we have. What else we're going to talk about. Let's scroll this down in the Twitter. So I'm going to scroll this down. Okay, if you have Dallas tonight, congratulations. That score, I don't know if that's a misprint or not. It probably is. 85-35. So we'll scroll this down, see what else we have. Okay, we'll return to the Ed Ogeron Show.
Toll free from anywhere. 1-800-315-8255 or tweet us live at LSU Radio. This is the Ed Ogeron Show, live from TJ Ribs on the LSU Sports Radio Network.
Fans, it's an early start this coming Saturday. LSU in Florida inside Tiger Stadium. Get your morning started right. Bring some flavor to the game day with Tabasco hot sauce. Go Tigers, go Tabasco, the official hot sauce of LSU Athletics. Before we break down last week's game, a little bit more with Coach O. Let's go out to the phone lines. We got Fritzy calling in. Fritzy, you're on with Coach O here on this Wednesday night.
Hey, Chris. Hey, Coach O.
What's up, Fritzy?
Coach O, I got 3 quick little things. First of all, You told me a long time ago that you would play anybody, anywhere, anytime. And that's what you and this young football team has been busting their ass doing every Saturday. Secondly, Coach O, is anybody that knows anything about football, on any given Saturday, one team can beat another team. And this Saturday, we can and we will beat them damn games if everybody loads up the stadium, gets loud, and gives you and our young players the support that you deserve. Let's get that W, Coach O, and make these people just shut the hell up.
Thank you, Fritzy.
Thanks, Fritzy, for the call. Coach, as I mentioned from the outset, we talked about it in the first segment. It was a tough night in Lexington, of course, against a very good Kentucky Wildcat team. We knew that going in. We talked about it last week. But after you broke down the film and really looked at it, what were the issues on defense early on that, got the Tigers down 14-0 on the road?
Yeah, first of all, we have to play gap responsibility. We're out of gaps, and they were a very good running football team. We knew that going in. We got cut out on gaps. They made some big plays. We called some blitzes, and we were slanting one way, and they got us the other way. We made some mistakes. We were in the wrong gap, and we missed some tackles. So it wasn't a very good night. I got to admit, it just wasn't a very good night of stopping the run. Definitely not Tiger football.
Well, again, you talk about what LSU could have done better. Obviously, you did a good job the week before against a good running team in Auburn. They're different, Kentucky and Auburn. Don't get me wrong. They're not the same team. But other than that, what are some of the things that the Wildcats running game presented that maybe was different that gave you trouble early on?
Well, different formations, different adjustments. Again, we had some misassignments, misalignments, of some different motions, some different formations that gave us problems, but we wasn't in the right gap.
It also should be mentioned, unfortunately for LSU, the Cats at home in front of a sellout crowd with the beneficiaries of some, relatively good field position early in that first quarter. You had the fumble as you were driving down the field, fourth down conversion, you're unable to convert. They start again at their own 31, which isn't great. But again, it felt like the defense was taking fire early in that contest.
And we got down 14-0, and then we blowed up in the second quarter. I felt good going into halftime. I think that we settled down, we started playing. And I felt good about the way we played ball in the second quarter.
No doubt about it. A little acknowledgement for the LSU defense after getting down in that first quarter. The defense certainly kept the Wildcats in check, forced their punter to come out in that second quarter. You had a confident Kentucky team, as we mentioned, playing at home, sellout crowd. You go into the locker room down 14-0. But as you said, felt like you had steadied the game a little bit, at least from the defensive side. Kind of what was the message in the locker room about what has to happen for LSU, not only to climb back in the game, but also knowing Kentucky was getting the ball to start the third quarter?
First of all, we had to come out fast. We had to stay in our gaps. We fixed the things that we weren't in our gaps. We created some big runs, but not being in our gaps. We put them on the board. We drew them up for the players, told them what to do. And then we wanted to stay with the run game. We wanted to be committed to the run game, and we wanted to be physical up front. I thought we did that on offense, but they out-physicaled us on our defensive line.
Well, you mentioned already tonight, and we're going to talk about it, the success of the running game, the best night on the ground for LSU. But when you go in at halftime, down 14-0, and the running game had been there, it would continue for the rest of the night. But what did you talk about offensively that was missing?
Yeah.
Because LSU had some opportunities in the passing game that were unable to connect. What did you talk offensively about? Hey, we can do this better.
The fourth down, we need to call plays better. To be honest with you, we got some great receivers out there. We don't need to throw the ball to a freshman running back. And there should have been a better play call there. So I take the responsibility for that. And then we had to protect the quarterback. We had a turnover. We had a 5-man protection. We weren't able to do that, so we went to 6-man protection. And those are the adjustments we talked to the team about.
All right, fans, we got much more coming. We'll check the phone lines coming up as well. Want to remind you that all LSU Sports Radio Network broadcasts are streamed for free, including our show each and every Wednesday night here at TJ Ribs. You can listen live on your phone, any mobile device, or on your laptop or computer. Just download the new LSU Sports mobile app presented by BASF. You can find the app for free in the iTunes Store or Google Play. It's the LSU Sports mobile app presented by BASF. We create chemistry. We'll return to TJ Ribs Coach O on a Wednesday night here on the LSU Sports Radio Network.
Okay, once again, he'll be back in just a few moments, so we'll go back over to the Twitter. So we're once again, King Mamba stats, 5 points, 4 boards, and 4 block shots in 16 minutes. So this is from NBA Stat King stats. You can follow them at Stat King. Also, this is Pookie Williams. You got to learn to take the storm until you get a rainbow. So that's one of the tweets. Okay, Parkway women's basketball schedule. So that's their schedule for the 2021 season. Now. Okay.
What you gotta do? Don't mind me.
Okay. Let's see. We have once again Packers Bears game. So this Fields will be the 20th different starting quarterback since 1992. Scotty Bourne, not Fred VanVleet. So that's what they're discussing in this in these Twitter articles. So we're gonna scroll it down some more, and I'll see what else we have on the screens. So let's see. They don't want to deploy, or they just want to get out because they're not that. Not everybody can act. Not everybody can be a good soldier. Not everybody can fire up to get up everyone. Okay, Tua Tagovailoa hopefully to play against the Jaguars in London. Okay, David Cutley and said Tyrod Taylor is healthy. Once he will play in Houston. How Nebraska turned the corner under Scott Frost. So that's what they're saying about Scott Frost in Nebraska. So we'll get back to the LSU coaches show.
This is the Ed Orgeron Show, live from TJ Ribs on the LSU Sports Radio Network.
Hey, Tiger fans, this coming weekend we'll have LSU game day going on. Hunt Palmer, former Tigers Marlin favorite, and we'll have Brandon Taylor back on to start our broadcast day. And we invite you to join the Whataburger Junior Broadcaster Program, which gives Tiger fans between the ages of 6 and 12 the opportunity to join the guys there on the stage before each LSU home game. All you have to do to enter your child is download the LSU Sports mobile app, click on the Whataburger Junior Broadcaster ad, hit the like button, and you've got your chance to win. Winners will also receive 4 tickets to the next LSU home game. Let's go out to the phone lines, waiting patiently. We'll go to Willie. Willie, you're on with Coach O.
Hey, Coach.
What's up, Willie?
Oh, not much, buddy. Hey, I am so proud of our run game last week. You know, we diversified our runs and really had our best running game of the year. And I think that's going to be one of our keys to victory. A good running game helps our defense.
I agree.
Our defense has got to stop the run. Now, they got to stop the run because Florida Gators like to run the ball.
Third in the country rushing.
A good time-consuming running game with the short passes. There's a lot of slants that we could hit off that running game. Mm-hmm. We don't have to throw deep all the time. We occasionally take a shot. But put the ball in the playmaker's hands. We got a lot of young, good receivers.
Yep.
Put the ball in their hands and let them make plays. Let's get it out of our quarterback hands. And let's run the ball like we did this past week. And that way keep our defense fresh. And they got to play with gap integrity and stop the run. Those are my keys to victory. What do you think?
We're on the same page, Willie. Way to go. Hey, receiver I want y'all to watch out is Malik Neighbors, man. He's healthy, a young freshman right there from Como High. He is going to be a great player for us.
You know, Coach.
Oh, yeah. I've seen him play. He's going to be great. He's going to be good.
Yep.
And We're gonna beat those Gators, Coach.
All right.
Don't worry about that. We're gonna
Let's
beat
go.
them. Yeah.
All right, Willie.
Thanks, Willie, for the call. Coach, you bring up Malik Neighbors, the second scrimmage of the season. I walked away from Tiger Stadium thinking, who is that kid? Now, obviously, he's been struggling to get back to full health, and he's there now. But, man, he showed out. You could see the type of talent he has.
Really good player, fluid, runs great routes, strong hands, and has a great mentality about himself. Great young man.
Let's go out to the LSU Sports mobile app. Patrick and Homa writing in. Coach, got two questions, maybe a follow-up to what you touched on in the first segment tonight. With Stingley and Ricks likely out, obviously, for the remainder of the season, any decision yet who the starting corners would be? And you mentioned Sage Ryan earlier. When Sage Ryan is healthy and ready to go, what type of weaponry does he bring to LSU?
Well, Cordell Flott is going to – we moved him from nickel to corner. And Dwight McGotham's going to start at the other corner. And, Cordell's an excellent corner. He's 6'2", about 175, got great footwork. I love him at corner. I love him at nickel. Sage Ryan is finally healthy, man, as he had 2 great weeks of practice. So we're going to play him at the nickel position. I think he's going to do very well.
All right. Thanks for the question, Patrick. Willie brings up the running game, and I told you earlier, Coach, we were going to talk about it. It was the best game on the ground this season. Ty Davis-Price really looked hungry out there, was running the ball extremely hard, 22 carries, 147 yards, had his first 2 rushing scores of the year. And this is what stood out, nearly 7 yards per carry. I know before the game you talked to Gordy Rush on our broadcast and said, hey, look, we are committed to the run and we've tried new concepts. We feel comfortable with them. Along with better execution, was that the difference in the running game Saturday?
Yeah, John Robinson is my mentor. John is a great coach, Hall of Fame coach. And obviously, they used to run the ball at USC all the time. And he kept coming to my office and say, Coach, we have to run the ball from 9. I say, Coach, you mean the pistol? He goes, yeah, the pistol. All right. And he's been clamoring for that for weeks. And we went to the pistol, and we gave our guys better angles. Our offensive line blocked better, and it worked.
Certainly not trying to give anything away for this Saturday, but I was thinking today as a staff, when you go into a week coming off where you run the ball extremely well, do you build on those concepts? Do you add to those concepts in a similar way? Like, how do you approach that type of positivity moving forward?
Well, today I showed a 10-play clip of our offensive line doing a great job of combination blocks, of double team blocks, knocking people off the ball, getting to the second level. Brad Davis has done a great job on offensive line. We're finally healthy. We have 2 left tackles now that can play. We have our whole offensive line back, ready to go. And those guys are a well-oiled machine right now. I can't wait to see them on Saturday. I think they're very fine against a fast defensive front.
Well, the truth be known, you've said all season, the Tigers are going to have to find a way to run the ball successful along with a dangerous passing attack. Back out to the LSU Sports mobile app. Kevin, a diehard Tiger fan in Moore, South Carolina, which happens to be near my old stomping grounds between Greenville and Spartanburg, wants to know, with the injury to Butte and several defensive starters out that we talked about with injuries, how more important this week and for the rest of the season is that running game for LSU to keep pressure off Max and the receivers you got?
I mean, it's always going to be important. We always want to be 50-50 running the football. We finally got to where we could do it. And Ty Davis-Price had his best game. I've always knew he could do it. I've always seen it in practice. But you know what? We need to get the ball to our receivers, just like Willie said. Give them short throws, give them the ball in space, and let them make plays.
All right, let's go back out to the phone lines. We got Keaton calling in from Birmingham. Keaton, you're on with Coach O.
What's up, Coach O?
We say, Keaton.
Yes, sir. So piggybacking off what y'all talking about with the running game, I also noticed, man, hey, Amani Goodwin is explosive.
Mm-hmm.
Even on 2-yard runs, you can see his speed turn into power. And I like it. He ain't afraid to stick his head in there and go get a hard 2-yard run. I love to see that. Also, Coach, one of the things I love about you the most is, man, you don't ever make excuses, man. You're a real stand-up guy, man.
All right.
And last year, all I heard from Florida fans was excuses. Oh, it was a shoot. It was a shoot. Even though the game was tied when the shoe was thrown. So nobody know if Florida was going to score. And lastly, Coach, I said a little something about the boxing match last week. Now, after the game, I know you probably didn't watch it. I know you probably heard, it was a great match. The thing we saw the most, or the reason why it was so great, was because you saw two warriors get up off that canvas and keep fighting until they had nothing left. You know, and that's just what I want to see you keep doing, Coach. I love that about you, man. I don't want you to blink. I want you to keep grinding, keep fighting, and keep motivating them boys. And go Tigers!
Hey, can I get you on the speakerphone right before the game? That's pretty good, Keaton. I like that, man. Thank you for your encouragement. I love it.
Thanks, Keaton, for the call. Some missed opportunities in the passing game, Coach, on Saturday. Plays that we have seen hit for the Tigers this year. Throws that obviously Max has made successfully. Just didn't connect on Saturday in Lexington. Some fourth down conversions, some vertical strikes where you tried to stretch the field. When the film was broken down, was it Kentucky's defense? Was it breakdowns from LSU? What did you and the staff see?
Well, the first fourth down, I think we should have called a better play, to be honest with you. And we had better athletes to put in space, and we could have done a better job. Sometimes he was under pressure. Sometimes he overthrew the guy. Then a couple of times we just missed the receivers. I mean, he didn't have his best game. I think Max is a great quarterback. He's a young quarterback. He's going to grow. I believe in him. But he did make mistakes just like everybody else.
All right, fans, we're going to take another quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk about this week's practice. We've got the live questions from here and fans inside TJ Ribs. Later, the scouting report on the Florida Gators, who the Tigers will take on this coming Saturday morning just after 11 o'clock. At legendary Tiger Stadium. Don't go anywhere. Back in a moment on the LSU Sports Radio Network.
Okay, the Ed Ogeron Show will return in just a few moments. So, we'll go over some more Twitter.
You love about Just For You
See
with
what's
all new
happening on
perks.
the
Get
Twitter
rewarded
first.
just for being you, including personalized deals, a free item every month, and even a treat on your birthday. With Albertsons For You, you earn points every time you shop and redeem them for discounts on groceries and more. Brand new Albertsons For You members receive $5 off their next $5
Okay,
purchase
Montreal
just for signing up. So
won
download
it for
or
straight up
update
in
your
the last
Albertsons app
five.
and see your
Also,
all-new
Toronto
awesome
3-6.
perks. Albertsons, fresh foods,
Straight
local
up in the
flavors.
last 9.
Hollingsworth Richards Ford is a proud sponsor of the
Okay,
LSU
this
Tigers.
is from Stack
For
King.
over 30 years, we've been a member of LSU's transportation team. And when you buy your new Ford at Hollingsworth Richards Ford,
Dallas leading
you'll get peace of
Charlotte.
mind with our nationwide lifetime powertrain warranty. That's right, a
So,
nationwide
USA
powertrain warranty
taking
with every
on,
new Ford purchase. Only at Hollingsworth Richards Ford, located at 7787
looks like
Florida Boulevard.
Glacier in
Or
the,
online 24/7 at HollingsworthRichardsFord.com. Go
Oh.
Tigers! See dealer for details.
Louisianians know life here is
Okay,
filled with joy.
Buckshine,
Sometimes
Ray John
a little
Turner, and
uncertainty.
Wave.
No matter your stage in life, know that you can rely on the
Jamarico
strength of the
Jones.
cross and
So look
protection
at
of the
some
shield.
Book Rumors. Go to
Your card
Book
opens the
Rumors.
door to a
.com.
large network of top doctors to care for you. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Louisiana has been helping Louisianians get care for generations. With the right card and the right care, you can get back to what you love best.
Support your LSU Tigers with Hancock Whitney, the official bank of LSU athletics. From game day to the offseason, Hancock Whitney LSU credit and debit cards are a big win for any Tiger fan. Want to get your paws on these cards? Well, apply online or visit HancockWhitney.com/LSU. Hancock Whitney Bank.
Okay, the
member
Raiders
FDIC.
begin
All accounts subject to credit approval.
process
Terms
of
and
moving
conditions
forward.
may apply.
The day after
Your team
emotional
is on a 3-game winning streak, and you're convinced it's because you've worn your lucky football jersey and haven't taken it off. Not for work, a wedding, or even bathing. With Cox, you can actually wear it all season long because we give you game day coverage and content 24/7. So join us and dress accordingly.
Hey, Tiger fans, just say Fan Zone into your Contour voice remote and enhance your gay experience all week long. Play games, win prizes. Cox, we're LSU fans 24/7.
So we'll get back to the Ed Ogeron Show.
Knocking on the door here with 2:25 clock moving second quarter. Two receivers right, two to the left. Johnson steps back, 3 steps, launches towards the end zone. Grab, held on to. Jack Besh has it. Touchdown, Fighting Tigers.
A recap of last week and a look ahead for LSU Fighting Tiger football. This is the Ed Ogeron Show, live from TJ Ribs on the LSU Sports Radio Network.
I know Tiger fans are ready for LSU Florida. Doesn't matter it's 11 o'clock. Doesn't matter if it was midnight. Tiger fans will be there, and we invite you to experience the best pregame activities at TJ Ribbs Tiger One Village, located in front of the Maravich Center. You can listen to live bands. Of course, our guys crank up our broadcast day each Saturday with LSU Game Day presented by CST. Hot 8 Brass going to perform live before the Florida game. They will start at 8 a.m. And if you think you need any help getting ready, Hot 8 Brass will provide the soundtrack to get going. All right, it's time to visit with fans here inside TJ Ribbs, and we're going to go first to Mike. Mike, your question for Coach O. There you go.
Yeah, Coach, what's up? Everybody likes to play at night at Tiger Stadium, but sometimes, with this day and age of TV contracts, you got to play at other times. And I'm sure recruits like to choose the big games, but does game time ever have an effect on the amount of recruits that show up for a game or for a weekend visit?
Yeah, that's a great question. The in-state players are able to come to the early morning games. Usually the out-of-state players that may come from Dallas, Houston, or anywhere in Mississippi probably won't come because it's too early in the morning. That's a good question. Go Tigers.
All right, thanks, Mike. Let's go, I believe, Hal. Do we have Hal up next? Hal, you've got a question for Coach O.
I do. Evening, Coach. One of the themes tonight has been injuries. And, we have long been known for having one of the best strength and conditioning programs in the SEC with Tommy Moffitt.
Yeah.
And I know injuries happen during the game with Keishon Butte.
Yeah.
But you go back to preseason with Miles Brennan, and you had Derek Stingley Jr., and then today you find out about Eli Ricks and Allie Gay. Talk about that. What's happening there? Is that a lack of strength and conditioning? Is it technique, or what have you? And I appreciate your time.
Yeah, they're all different injuries. Some are broken bones, some are torn this, so you can't put your finger on. It's not like a strength conditioning if you break it on. You know what I'm saying? So it all depends. We got to look at it. We're going to look at it at the end of the season. We'll look at all the injuries. We're going to look at how we training, how we rehabbing these guys. I think we're doing about as good a job we can. I just think it's a rash of injuries, but we're going to look at it.
Okay, good. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Hal. All right, everybody, here it is. It's the time you wait for each week. Evil Twin, the mic is yours.
Coach, Gainesville is an ancient Indian word. It means morons throwing moccasins 10, 20 yards down the field on a 4th and long. Coach, cry me a river. The Gators, they're mad. They're angry. They're emotionally distraught. They want revenge for the shoe game. Well, Gators, I have one thing to tell you. You got a problem. Because at 11 o'clock on Saturday morning, me and 90,000 of my closest friends are going to show up. And you know what? I'm going to give it to our students. They're going to show up. And you know what? Gators, guess what? This will not be the Dr. Phil show. We are not worried about your damn emotions. And I also have another thing to tell you, Gators. Another thing. Read my lips. Coach O did not throw that shoe last year. Our football team did not throw that shoe last year. Me, Fritzy, and everybody here, TJ Ribbs, we did not throw that shoe last year. If the shoe does not fit, you must have quit. Can I have a hell yes?
Hell yeah.
Coach, I have a question.
Yes, sir.
They took my question earlier, but I got another question.
All right.
We had a highly rated defensive end, Bryce Langston.
Yes.
How's he doing? How's he progressing?
He's doing really well. I think he's a very good athlete. He's a very tough player, a great young man. He's just behind a little bit on the fundamentals and learning how the defensive line play. And once he learns those fundamentals, he'll be an excellent player.
Thank you, Coach.
You're welcome.
All right. Thank you all for your questions here tonight. How about a hand for Mike, Hal, and, of course, Evil Twin. Coach, before we go to break, I know you come into practice this week. I have to believe at some point you're talking to the team about the LSU standard of performance, something that you talked about on Monday in your press conference. Doug from Prairieville wrote in early this morning to me to ask, we commonly reference the LSU standard of performance. What are the core values that define that standard, and how do the student athletes live by that code or those standards every day?
First of all, protect the team in everything we do. That's our code. Be early. and then working as hard as we possibly can and represent the state of Louisiana in everything that we do as well as we can and be the best. And obviously right now we're not at the LSU standard performance, but we're always aiming to be there. You know, there was 3 years ago after we lost to Troy, we were not at the LSU standard performance. We went beat Florida, we got on the run, and we built that championship team. You know, we tell them iron sharpens iron. And right now we'll have to build our team. We have to build our confidence. Hopefully this game, we win this game and give some confidence to finish the rest of the season the way we should.
All right, let's go out to the Twitterverse. This is Bailey writing in, Coach, through asking, given Cade York's ability as a kicker and the records he's broken already this year, and of course last year in that Florida game with the 57-yarder, what kind of goes into the decision between punting and field goal attempts when Cade could have a chance at getting points from a distance?
Yeah, first of all, it's more or less if we're going to go for it. Because once we're inside the 50, we play for what we call 4-down territory. Now, if we're in the 36-yard line, and if it's 4th and 10, we're kicking a field goal. But we're on the 36-yard line, and it's 4th and 1 or 4th and 2, we probably have to go for it. It all depends on the flow of the game. But we think that we can let Cade kick a 60-yarder, and we'll try it if we have to. Now, if we have to punt the ball on 4th and 10, it's out of his range, that's when we're going to punt.
All right, real quick before we go to break again, Damone Clark, obviously we've talked about him several straight weeks now. He's been solid for you. You've talked on this show about how his dedication, his hard work in the offseason has put him where he is, averaging over 11 tackles per game. Now, we've seen flashes from Micah Baskerville, kind of waiting for Mike Jones to kind of come into his own after transferring here. Kind of what's the concentration, what's the emphasis for that linebacker unit, which has had such a great history here at LSU, to kind of get some of those other linebackers in there playing at the level that Damone's doing week to week?
Well, first of all, Damone's doing a great job of leadership. You know, Michael's playing some good ball. I mean, Michael's around the football. He's got great instincts. Jones is getting better. He's not used to the physicality because they played nickel all the time. So that's the thing he needs to get used to, is taking on a guard, whipping the block, and then making the tackle. But if he's in open field, he's a very good football player, which our guys need to continue to work on their reads and work on their physicality.
All right, fans, coming up, we'll turn our attention to the matchup coming up this Saturday and get a scouting report on the Florida Gators. Want to remind you to get ready to taste victory and try out the new Victory Grills from Barbecue Guys. Get your Victory Grill today. Become a backyard barbecue champ only at bbqguys.com. Back in a flash right after this. It's the Ed Ogeron Show, live from TJ Ribs on the LSU Sports Radio Network.
Okay, the Ed Ogeron Show will return in a few moments.
Real Tigers
So we'll
apparel
go
and
ahead and go
merchandise
back
from the
to some
official
more Twitter.
online store at lsushop.net. Get jerseys, sideline gear, polos, t-shirts, hats, official team merchandise from Nike, accessories, and much more. Over 3,600 products, all shipped right to your door. Head to the place real Tiger fans go for the selection only real Tiger fans get at lsushop.net.
It's time we all get back. It's time we all get back to more one of
Okay, all time in Atlanta history during the NLDS further cements Freddie Freeman's legacy
COVID-19
as
vaccination by going to getvaccineanswers.org.
the greatest
The
first
SEC
baseman
backs
in
the
franchise
vax, because
history.
it's time we all
So
get back
that's
to more.
what they're
Go
talking
to
about. That's from
getvaccineanswers.org.
Outlook.
The SEC.
Outlook.
It just means more.
Hey, Tiger fans, this is Chris Blair inviting you to become part of our LSU Athletics podcast world. For the very latest on the Tigers, whenever it's convenient for you. It's Cody
Cardinals,
Morsham, number 18, Jacob Hester, or the
49ers and
Fighting Podcast.
Seahawks
Look inside
in the,
LSU football. Join me
NFL
and hear from
trade
some of the
rumors,
great voices of college sports on Hearing Voices. Get up to speed on the Tigers' next opponent with LSU Recon, plus replays of the Ed Ogeron Show and many more. Find them all at lsusports.net/podcast, on the LSU Sports mobile app, and anywhere podcasts can be found. Subscribe today.
It's time we all get back.
back
It's
on
time
more.
we all get back to more.
Okay,
More one of a
Jared
kind
Roser saying
more rockin' jam-packed stadiums. More what
Cade
makes
York
the
will
mighty
try a
Southeastern
60-yard
Conference
field goal
so much
if
more.
it's
Team
feasible.
up with the SEC
That's
and learn
what
more
they're
about the
saying in that
COVID-19
article.
vaccination by going to getvaccineanswers.org. The SEC backs the vax because it's time we all get back to more. Go to getvaccineanswers.org. The SEC. It just means more.
So it's roll some more Twitter. So roll over some get some more.
4th down and 9 with 27 seconds remaining in this game. Cade York, the sophomore from McKinney, Texas. Going to try a 57-yarder. Middle of the field. Here's the approach and the kick. On its way, and it is good! Cade York with a school record 57-yard field goal. And the Tigers lead 37-34 with 23 seconds remaining.
We continue this week's visit with Coach O. This is the Ed Orgeron Show, live from TJ Ribs on the LSU Sports Radio Network.
Time now to turn our attention to the matchup this weekend. LSU hosting the Florida Gators in that cross-divisional rivalry. Just after 11 o'clock, they'll kick it off inside Tiger Stadium. A quick reminder, People's Health, proud to be the official health plan of LSU Athletics. If you have Medicare, People's Health has plans tailored to suit where you live and how you live. Visit peopleshealth.com. Find a plan that's right for you. Coach, it's LSU and it's Florida. And to be sure, in recent history, when it comes to this matchup, expect the unexpected. Florida coming in 4-2, 2-2 conference mark, losses to Bama and on the road at Kentucky. I know you have the utmost respect for Coach Mullen, his ability to attack any defense. Last year, top 3 in the country passing. They had Kyle Trask and Kyle Pitts. As you pointed out tonight, top 3 in rushing this year with 2 quarterbacks, Jones and Richardson. You also got running backs Davis and Pierce. From an offensive standpoint, what stands out and is different about this Florida team from last year and maybe even 2 years ago?
Well, I think that Emory Jones is a lot better passer. I mean, he's a runner first. You have to treat him like a wildcat quarterback back there, but now he's a guy that can throw the ball down the field. Dan's done a tremendous job. Let me say something about Dan Mullen. He's one of the best play callers in the country. The guy knows how to call plays. He knows where your defense is weak. He's a tremendous play caller. As the game goes on, he gets better and better. But these guys are running the football, and the quarterback runs with Emory Jones is something that we have to stop.
I'm going to talk about Emory Jones and the rest of Anthony Richardson, the other quarterback who's coming off injury. But I wanted to talk about the offensive line for Florida. When you look at them on film, how do you go about, attacking them up front, whether it be with blitzes or just with your 4-man front? What have you seen from the Gator offensive line in 2021?
Yeah, we're gonna have to play the gap scheme as well. They're a power team, they're a counter team, they're a zone team, a quarterback power team. They run the quarterback power on 3rd down and 1. You know it, they know it. You got to stop it. We got to be able to hold a point of attack on our double teams, penetrate and tackle those backers, make some tackles for loss. And the first contact, we got to wrap and drive the guys back and don't let them fall forward.
Watching some of the game film on Florida myself and looking at the numbers, the fact that 2 quarterbacks lead the team in rushing, Jones at nearly 7 yards per carry, Anthony Richardson, who, as I said, has been coming off injury, but has averaged over 14 yards per carry. Then, of course, you got the 2 running backs, both averaging over 5 yards per carry. To me, I kind of call them an option offense, not the triple option, but they've got multiple options to run at you.
It's funny, Dan and John Hevesy, their offensive line coach, were graduate assistant coaches with us in Syracuse. And that's when we ran the triple option with Donovan McNabb. And they still have the playbook. They've just turned the triple option into spread offense. Those guys run what we call a bluff play. It creates a lot of space. It creates confusion on your defense, and it gives the quarterback an option to run the ball or pitch it.
With so much emphasis on the run, deservedly so, as you just pointed out, the Gators are surprisingly very balanced. Also, another signature of a Dan Mullen team, 273 yards per game on the ground, 230 yards through the air. What do you have to keep in mind and the challenges that the passing attack that you pointed out, Jones has added that to his repertoire. But from a receiver standpoint, what concerns you about the passing game for the Gators?
Eye discipline. We have to have eyes on our keys. We cannot bite on the run. If you're deep, you're deep. He's going to try to throw the ball behind your head. He has speed at the receivers. He's great at the play action pass. And he's good at the short pass on 3rd down and medium. So.
All right, fans, we got one more segment with Coach O. The Tiger offense looking to get moving early on Saturday. We'll get the scouting report on that Gator defense when we come back. one more segment with Coach this week, so stay with us right here. It's the Ed Ogeron Show, live from TJ Ribs on the LSU Sports Radio Network.
Okay, the Ed Ogeron Show
Do
will
you have
return in just
Medicare
a
and
few
make
moments.
less than
Let's go ahead and give you a
$1,615
scoreboard
per month?
update.
Or do you have Medicare
on
and
ESPN.
Medicaid? You may be eligible for
Give me a
extra
scoreboard
benefits you're
update
not getting
on
now,
some games.
and you may be able to enroll in a Medicare
Okay,
Advantage plan from People's
USA
Health.
went
Don't
2-1
wait. If you enroll in
in
a
the,
Medicare Advantage plan from People's Health
in the
today, your
Colbert
benefits may begin the first day of
World
next
Cup
month. Call
qualifier.
1-855-410-7761.
Also,
That's 1-855
Montreal and
7761.
Toronto tied up
People's
at
Health,
1.
your Medicare health team.
And
Hollingsworth Richards Ford is a proud sponsor of the
Boston on
LSU
top 1-0.
Tigers.
Another game later,
For over
Vancouver
3 years,
and
we've been a member of LSU's
Everton,
transportation team. And when you buy your new Ford at Hollingsworth Richards Ford, you will
Winnipeg
get
and
peace of mind.
Anaheim.
A nationwide lifetime. A nationwide powertrain
Looks
warranty
like
with
we
every
can't
new
see the
purchase
game.
only at Hollingsworth Richards Ford, located at 7787 Florida
Okay,
Boulevard,
let's see what
or
else we
online
have.
24/7 at HollingsworthRichardsFord.com. Go Tigers! See dealer for details.
Okay, NBA basketball
Tiger
going
Save
on
your Saturdays for
tonight. The
football,
last,
not chores. At Sunshine, our John
last,
Deere
week
tractor
before
packages
the,
come in a variety of
the new
horsepower
regular
and
season
attachment
begins.
configurations
Give you a
to tackle
scoreboard
any
update
job,
on that.
with packages starting as low as $199 a month.
Okay,
Our
it is
dealers are
Grizzlies on
undefeated.
top
For
90
more
to
information,
86.
visit us
Boston
in
on
store
top
or
84
online at
to
sunequip.com.
80.
Some restrictions apply. See Sunshine
Detroit
for
down
details.
up
Offer ends
56
October 31st,
52.
2021.
Denver down 36-26.
Did you know that Planet Fitness
Phoenix
is the
winning
official gym of LSU
119-74.
Athletics?
And
That's
also,
right. And as an LSU athletic fan, you can get a
the
special
Mavericks
offer of
winning
just $1 now at any of the
127-59.
6
So the
Baton
next
Rouge area
game
locations
will
with
be the
offer
Jazz
code
taking on
BFLSU.
the
You get free
Milwaukee
fitness
Bucks.
training, tons of cardio and strength equipment, and a totally friendly staff. Planet Fitness is a comfortable place to go at your own pace. You can find out more at planetfitness.club/LSU. And go Tigers.
Okay, once again, the
If it's a tale worth
NLDS on
it happens
Thursday
at
night.
LaBerge. With
Dodgers will
thousands of
take
games to
on
explore. Hot streaks that never end.
Giants.
Handcrafted
That'll be the,
flavors eager to please. And a
fifth and
vibe
final
you'll
game.
never forget. It's a story in the making. This one, however, is to be continued. LaBerge Baton Rouge. What's your story? Must be 21 years of age or older. Family problem? Call 1-800-522-4700.
First down and 10. Johnson lines him up. Here's the snap quickly. Looking deep downfield. Lofts it up, and Smith has it at the 5. He'll roll on in. Touchdown, Tigers. 40-yard touchdown pass. His second touchdown reception of the game. It's 20-0. Fighting Tigers of LSU.
Call in or tweet a question for Coach O. The phone lines are open. 225-578-4827 in Baton Rouge. Toll free from anywhere. 1-800-315-8255. Or tweet us live at LSU Radio. This is the Ed Ogeron Show. Live from TJ Ribs on the LSU Sports Radio Network.
Once again, it's great to be here on a Wednesday night. Great to be with you. Great to have a wonderful crowd at TJ Ribs, and for all of you listening wherever you are tonight. Coach, before we talk about the Gator defense, I did want to get your thoughts on this. You've always said each week is a new challenge. What happened last week, good or bad, you can build on it, but you can't carry it into the next week against a particular team. I said from the outset of tonight's show that I personally feel like that the most contentious and heated cross-divisional rivalry is LSU and Florida. And, you know, some people argue that LSU doesn't have a natural rival. There's LSU and Alabama. There's Ole Miss and LSU from a historical perspective. But I wanted to ask you, do you believe that LSU and Florida is the most heated? B, why do you think that is? And C, is there any need at all to try to motivate your guys when they look across the sideline and see that ugly Florida uniform there?
Not at all. You know, watching LSU from afar, I had no idea how much LSU had a dislike for Florida until I became the coach here, and I walk outside and they're all fighting. They're fighting for the game. It was the first time our team have ever fought before. So I understand it's going to be an intense, heated rivalry. I get that, but I want our guys to concentrate on being intense and heated when the ball is snapped and when the whistle blows. go back and get ready to do it again. That's where we have to focus our concentration, our energy, not fighting before the game, because most of the times when you fight before the game, you make too many penalties, you make too many mistakes.
Again, it certainly helps. This rivalry has grown simply because of the game had here in the past, not to mention, last year in the swamp, in the fog, LSU getting that win, beating number 6 Florida, and kind of wrecking their playoff hopes. Let's talk defense. Coach Todd Grantham know it. He's got an aggressive style, likes to keep you guessing with where the blitz is coming from. The Gators second behind Georgia in the SEC with quarterback sacks on the year. What's the mission for the offensive line this week? And as well, what does Max Johnson have to do well against their defense?
We got to block their speed. They have a great defensive end. Zach Ricardo, he leads the team in sacks and 6 sacks. Todd Graham's a great defensive line coach. He's going to blitz. There's a lot of speed on that football team.
You hear the term a lot, exotic blitzes.
Mm-hmm.
Take us for the layman as myself. What's an exotic blitz?
Well, exotic blitz is something that's going to attack your protection. Todd knows your protections. He makes sure a blitz coming from the other way, gets you to check out of it, and then come exactly the opposite. He may do it from a 4-2-5, do it from an okey look. He may have 3 guys standing up on a line of scrimmage and bring 4 guys outside. He wants to mess up your protections.
Really good group of linebackers for the squad. Again, along with the safeties, they lead the way when it comes to total tackles for Florida on the year. What do you do well, and how do you try and minimize the impact they have on Saturday?
First of all, we have to run the football. We have to block it. We have to limit negative plays. We have to limit negative plays on first to stay ahead of the chains. Obviously, when they use those exotic blitz, we have to pick it up and take advantage of it, because there's one-on-ones, sometimes zero blitz. So we have to get our athletes deep to make some big plays.
What can LSU do, Coach, as a team? When you talk to them, probably practice, giving up the effort physically this week, and you talk to them about getting ready for the game. What are they going to do to give them the best shot to come out victorious Saturday afternoon when all is said and done?
Yeah, rivalry game and wanting to win, all that is there. But we need to continue to study. We need to work on our technique on defense. We need to make sure the right gaps. We need to make sure we understand the call. We can adjust to the formations, and we got cleats in the grass, and we tackle. We have to come with a physical attitude. Get up early in the morning, we'll punch ourselves in the jaw just slightly, and get ready.
All right. When you look at Florida, I always ask you about the other side of the coin. They've got 4 wins on the season. Look at what's been successful for them. What do you tell your guys? Offense, defense, special teams. This is what we have to do away to keep Florida from doing what they want to do.
You have to play for 4 quarters. You watch that game against Alabama. They took that game over physically. Now, they were running that football. They wore Alabama out. And we have to be able to play. We have to rotate our guys. We have to sustain. This is going to be a heavyweight fight, just like it's been last 3 or 4 years. We have to rotate our guys. We have to be fresh and be ready to win the game on the last play if that's what it takes.
Coach, I had to park nearly across the street to come in here tonight. This place, once again, is packed.
Love it.
It is an early kickoff, which I mentioned just after 11 o'clock. But what it will mean for this team, the guys that will suit up on those beautiful gold helmets, get out there on the field. What's it going to mean Saturday when Tiger fans are there? Because they hate Florida as much as I do, right?
Right.
Show of hands, everybody hates Florida. What is it going to mean for this team to have that type of crowd from start to finish Saturday?
We need that. I'm going to say it again. The 2019 season, Florida and Auburn were our toughest games. The reason we beat those guys because of our crowd. I think if we'd have played the game on the road, it would have been a lot tighter. It was a tight game, the 2019 game. But one of my favorite moments of being LSU coach is at the end when our whole stand was doing the Gator chalk. That was a memory that I'll never, ever forget. So I want our fans to get up early in the morning, put something extra special in your coffee, and get after it.
All right, Coach. Well, do me a favor. Beat those Gators on Saturday. Thanks for your time. We'll see you in Death Valley on Saturday morning.
Hey, guys, go Tigers.
All right, fans, that's our show. Thanks to Coach for his time. Great staff at TJ Ribs, as well as Plains. Hope to see you back here next week, same time. Saturday morning at 11. This is Chris Blair. So long, everybody, and go Tigers.
Okay, this concludes tonight's Ursula show. So once again, this concludes our broadcast as well. So once again, we'll be back on tomorrow for Sports Talk. We'll preview Southeastern and Houston Baptist. So we'll do that tomorrow. So once again, no Saints preview tonight due to the off week. So we'll be back next week with a Saints preview show.